Hello, everybody. Just double checking that my microphone is working. It is. It's looking all good. Okay, so we're going to be going over Bitcoin price action. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the drop that has occurred, why it's come, how we could have traded it. This is part of the daily segment that we're trying to do each and every day now, just to go through some trades with you that you could have taken and go through the charts and see where it's going to go next. So I'm going to go straight to the chart. We've got a naked chart. So back on Wednesday, when we did the first video on this, we spoke about why we dropped from this range up here. It was to do with open interest, okay? The reason for it was you had this huge decrease towards the latter half of the move. Yeah, I do look 50, mate. Well, fuck you, twin. To be fair, is what it is. I can look 15, but I still look better than you can. It ain't even a members stream, but fuck it. I'm going to give you shit anyway. But yeah, the open interest increase that we had up in this range became resistance as soon as you dropped down. And if you mark out the lows of this range, back here, you can see that we almost back tested it perfectly. That's locked in range analysis, called LRA. Once we rejected there, locking in those longs that have become trapped at the top, the move was always going to be down. You have to squeeze out those longs that have entered, okay? And that's literally exactly what happened. Now, how could we have got into a trade yesterday in order to profit from this? If we missed, the move on Wednesday, or we didn't take a short back on Tuesday, there was still one opportunity that you had yesterday. If I pop on the periodic volume profile, I've got this set, so it's always going to do the dailies for us. It's far easier than me pulling a fixed range all the time. You can see that where we opened yesterday, double check my phone is muted. Where we opened yesterday, so this is the daily open here, we had what's called a Dalton. And the Dalton has a statistical target, which is the naked point of control, okay? It requires two 30-minute candles to close above effectively the previous day value area low, or in this case, in this instance anyway. It's just inside the value area, but in this example, it was the value area low. That makes the statistical target the previous day point of control, and we hit it, okay? And once we hit it, that's when price kind of just fell through. There wasn't, I must admit, too much in the order flow to signal that it was going down. You got some wreck balls here, but actually that's longs getting wrecked, which is insane up here. But from the order flow standpoint, we didn't get too much up here. In fact, it kind of was range bound. So you can see that as we came up here, we were getting a decrease in open interest, some shorts getting liquidated, but no major liquidation, bubbles, and no real volume spikes of any sort. So the order flow would have been difficult to read, if I'm being totally honest. Candles like this were good. If you can see this candle here, you can see at the top, this is very green, and obviously the candle ended red. You can see down here, that candle had a lot of positive delta. Now, delta's aggressive market orders. So you had 9.8 million more aggressive market buys than you did shorts, and yet the candle ended green. So that's a bearish signal, and that was the top for the day. So that would have been your entry trigger if you were looking to trade it. It wasn't perfect, I must say that, but that was your entry trigger, okay? It really wasn't perfect. And yeah, it kind of just ranged around here for a little bit before, effectively just free falling, to be straight up with you. And, where did we come down to? Well, there was really only one place you were going to come to. If I pop on my levels here, it was always going to be the range point of control. You were going to come to this point. Whether it held or not was up for debate. You had many reasons to think that it would, but it didn't. And in fact, it came right down to, let me pop this on, the weekly open. You can see the weekly open down here. The weekly lows just below it, which, if we lose some levels, that's going to get swept, because it's effectively the previous day low. They're so close. It just would make sense to sweep it at some point, considering what we've got. But if we can get a move on upwards, okay, it's going to be different. But let's talk about the move down. So it came down. We were wrecking all of those longs, all the longs that entered at the top of that range up towards the highs. They got absolutely fucking nuked. Absolutely nuked in the drop, completely punished. There was really no respite for them. They just got absolutely tanked For those in shorts, it was great because all the market was pretty much tanking. And for us in the group, thanks to the indicator that Twin has designed for us based on delta drops, look at this. If I pop this down, you can see that we had one perfect buy signal around the range point of control. And then as you swept it, you got another buy signal. These were two great trades. I took this one. I didn't take the first one. I was in shorts, but fucking perfect. I mean, I'll show you straight up my CFT. Let me show you this trade. Let me come to it now. Bear with me. Look at this. Absolutely perfect. From when, as soon as the indicator popped off, it's going to keep fucking going away, and managed to close out towards the top. Now, why did I close out there? Well, you actually had the VWAP there over on Binance. If I go over to Binance, scroll down to where we were, you had two reasons, okay? It was the VWAP. You also had, in fact, I can do it here. I want single prints, please. I could show you on TradingView as well, but it's just a little bit cleaner when you use it on ExoCharts. You kind of have to pull the thing yourself when you're using TradingView. So if I expand these candles, please. There we go. Expand the candles. So this is TPO for the guys that don't know. And what TPO is, it shows you the time put into a chart in like a market profile. Similar to the way you see fixed range balls, TPO is time-based profile. But you can spread the candles out like this, and it gives you what's called a single print. So it means like effectively where one candle is cut through price. It's hollow price action, but if you want to see moves defended, you're going to be looking for single prints like this to be defended. So, you can see to the upside, we started to break into these single prints here, and we closed them out and came down. So it's a weak signal for the long side when you close out single prints. Now we have one to the upside, and we also have one right down here. But if shit gets down there, it's going to be a difficult day, and the bulls will definitely be having some fun. But yeah, the reason that I took TPREID there, VWAP, and it was also the single print. Obviously, because this candle's come up a little bit higher, the single print did move up, but that single print is still relevant for us today. And I'll go through why now, because we've effectively talked through the price action of yesterday. I mean, let me just go and look at the low, and we can talk about, why you would have entered there. Of course, if you're in the group, you've got the indicator, but if you're just using, I don't know, anything that you've maybe have picked up or heard us talking about, me and Magic are vivid open interest traders. You can see here we had a 0.7% drop on Binance. That's big. You're typically looking for 0.5 to 1% drops, and they are, to be honest with you, great levels to trade. Absolutely great levels to trade. You also had finished auctions, which is it's not a very bullish sign, but it's a sign of a very good low. You also got many people liquidated in that. You can see the wrecked bubbles that we've got in this candle here. And then you had Twin's indicator pop off, and eventually you start to see buyers come into price action here. You were even trapping some shorts as you got above these candles, okay? You had open interest increasing, delta being negative, and then you had, even in this candle here, negative delta overall. Remember what we said for the high of the previous day? Well, in this candle here, you've got 3.6 million shorts, or additional shorts, market shorts, and the candle's really fucking green. And then you get buyers come in, push you higher, push you higher, push you higher. Then you're taking out the shorts that have entered towards the lows as you head up to, the VWAP and single print. So where does that leave us now with the current price action? Because, it's an interesting area where we are. It really is, because this range point of control is a rather important level to have on your charts. It's the overall range that we've been up here for, what is it, like 2-3 months now? It's pretty fucking important, okay? It's a level that if you live above, good things can happen. If we start to live below, you are running the risk of, a bigger pullback. Now, the area of support that I have locally for us to trade would be the weekly open, previous day low, and the current Monday low. And I'd probably include the weekend low as well. Let me get rid of these periodic profiles. If I go to the 30-minute, hide this, and we want the open interest to come in. You can see that from this area here, and I'll hide the levels as well. From this level here, we've had open interest increasing. Granted, there has been a drop. Is it traders that entered here? If you were long in this price action here and you didn't TP and you didn't trail your stop loss, where would your stop loss be? Well, it would be here, okay? It would be right here. If you were long here, anywhere here, to be honest with you, open interest was very bullish. Where's your last significant low? I mean, I'm looking at the 30-minute time frame here. Where's your last significant low for all this open interest that we've had come in here? Well, that comes in there. So you've got two targets to the downside where when we get below those levels, you're going to be taking out quite a large amount of traders. This amount here is, and it's somewhat hopeful that they didn't take profits or shit themselves as yesterday's price action occurred, but there will definitely, without a doubt, be some of these traders still in. So you've got, 7% there, 6% there. There's a lot of traders in this area of price action here. You want to see price living above that. And, it is in line with the range point of control. Okay. You want to see us holding above that because you don't want to put the pressure on these longs. We've already got the pressure on these ones. If not, they've already been taken out, but you don't want to add these to the mix as well. One area I do like for a long is this gold pocket here. Now, this is pulled from this low about 2 weeks ago on Friday. It's not the absolute low that we had. That is actually a little bit below us, but I'm going to hide that for now just to not mix things up. But I quite favor this gold pocket because it is in line with my idea of us coming and sweeping these lows. Okay, I'm not saying it's 100%, but I think this is a very valid setup. And the fact you've got these lows here, you can do your trading plan can be very simple because you're simply waiting for it to come into the gold pocket and get back above this high. So if you're ever like, I don't know when to enter a trade the plan that the SFP offers you. And the SFP offers you your entry and your stop loss. The TP is the fun part. You get to do that all yourself. But yeah, so once you've come below and you start to get candle closures above this low, you can then enter your trade as soon as the candles close. You don't really need any other analysis. It's better if you do, open interest in particular. But if you're not using it, the candle closes work well, your stop loss goes below the low, and then you're in a trade from the gold pocket without the question of how do I actually enter a trade? It's all there in the trading plan offered by the single print SFP. Sorry. So that would be a good trade to take. Now, if we're not going to come down that far, that's a good sign. But I think this area here with all that weekly open, all that previous day low, all that weekend low, there's so much here. This could be a good sweep as well. And unfortunately, that is all the trades that I've got. They're pretty much SFPs to the downside, okay? Now, it's because I really like the SFPs and they are very handy. Now, if I unhide this and we see where the other gold pocket is, the reason I do not favor this gold pocket, okay, is because at that point, coming down to this gold pocket, you're losing the range value area. And that's not a good sign. If you've come up, failed to break out to the upside, and then you're dropping out of the range value area again, after we've already done it previously, it is a much more bearish sign to me, and I would be expecting prices to come much lower, but we'll talk about them as and when they come. Now, if we do get a bounce up, there are some areas we can be taking some shorts. Okay, this one here, pulled from the previous day high to the low that we've got. I'm going to say it again, it can be traded as an SFP, okay? We've got a pretty nice gold pocket. Granted, it's in the single print, so I'm not overly keen on it, but you're back testing, let's call it, if you close the single print out, you've got support there. Will it turn to resistance? You kind of extend this box up, but the gold pocket's there, and we may not quite get to it. If it's a quick wick up, that's good. And if you come back below this high, which isn't the previous day high, but effectively the close session high, that could be a very good trade. You'd want to see, if you're looking to take that short, decreasing open interest into that area. You want to see a volume spike when you get there. You want to see, a rather fast move. You don't want it to be slowly dragging its way up, because something to note down is slow moves typically continue in that direction. It's just, a little bit of advice that I can give you to look out for. Another thing, you got the 0.382 there as well. We did reject from it last night. That's from the actual high itself. But yeah, it's just another thing to note in that region. Now, if it breaks the single print, we've got a couple options. and that's certainly a bullish sign if it gets above that single print. It is, and it's kind of why it makes me not favor this gold pocket too much. But we can't ignore it. Okay, we can't ignore it. And anyone that has gone short, they may have moved their stop losses to above the previous day high. Now, by the time we get there, I don't think it is going to be the previous day high. We've got the weekend coming up. I don't think Friday's going to be. I don't think we're going to be super bullish in the next few hours to pull us up here to take this trade. But it's still a trade if it comes at the weekend. And if it comes at the weekend, it's kind of a bad thing because I would be expecting price to come back down to wherever Friday closes. Above that, we also have a naked point of control back in this range. And that to me would be the last short I would really take. I don't think I'd take another short if we got back up there and broke through effectively this little range, maybe an SFP, but I think at that point you're coming up to test the untapped daily that we've got from back when we made the all-time high and a naked point of control. That's your last resistance really until you get to the all-time high. So it's an interesting area. Where do I think we're going to go? Where is more likely? I would say right now I'm looking more to the downside. I'm looking for that weekly open to get tested. I just want to see the reaction and what we get there. And I think it'll be very telling once that comes, because if we bounce and we get a nice bounce and we can start to test this single print, great. If we bounce and just reject from the range point of control, then you have to look to some downside levels, and you're really I forgot about Magic's level there. That adds to that gold pocket so much. But I'll let Magic discuss that with anyone that's in the group. But yeah, if we get a weak bounce from here, it's going to be very telling that we're going to probably come down much lower. I say much lower. It's $1,000 drop from there to Magic's level in that gold pocket we discussed. So that's all. I'm trying to keep these short, under 20 minutes. Appreciate you guys tuning in. To Magic and fucking Twin in the chat. Fuck you both. But yeah, see you all later, guys. I am going to be doing some live trading in the next hour for the members in the group. If you're not in the Crypto Hub, fucking get in. Got some good shit going on in there. But yeah, peace out, everyone. In a bit.